Good morning, my loves. Happy Monday. It is a glorious Monday morning here at the lake. It's in the 60s at the moment. It's, I think, going to be 89 this afternoon. It'll be in the 90s this week. Crazy temps. Interesting topic that is going to definitely piss some folks off. Don't really care. Parents, put your phones down and interact with your kids. Put your phones down and know if they're attending classes. Put your phones down and know what they're wearing to school, at school, and when they come home from school. Put your phones down and find out who they're interacting with online. Put your phones down and find out who they're hanging out with in person. Put your phones down and find out, are they doing their homework? Are they passing their courses? Put your phones down and attend the parent conferences. Put your phones down and go to the school activities, the choir concerts, the soccer meets, the football games. Put your phones down and have conversations with your children. Had a call this morning. It started Friday. I got a call from a school resource officer that is not in Arizona. And they wanted to know if I would talk to a family, and I said, sure, not a problem. Young man, junior high. I don't know, maybe it's middle school now. I'm not sure. Back in the olden days, it was junior high. Seventh grade, sixth, seventh grade, something like that, okay? I don't know what they call it now. Anyway, young man was sent to the principal's office last week for the third time in 1 week. Very bright kid. But he had just become apathetic with an attitude, tired all the time, just a hot mess. And the teacher called on him and he mouthed off. It got out of control. Nothing physical, but just very disrespectful. Sent to the principal's office. So in the principal's office, you have the school resource officer, like a guidance counselor, and the principal, and the kiddo. And they asked the child, so what's going on? You're bright. You are a very bright child. You're a good athlete. What's going on with you? The usual kid answer, a shrug. Well, after a little bit of time, a little prodding, the child starts to open up. It's pretty much attention-seeking behavior. Parents don't care. Very prosperous family. I wouldn't say well-to-do, but a standard upper-middle-class family. But mom's always on her phone. Mom's always on her phone to friends, to family members. Doesn't have time for the kids. Older siblings don't have time. They're wrapped up in their own lives. Dad comes home from work totally in a bad mood, absolutely every day. Grabs a six-pack, rolls a joint, sits in front of the TV, and you do not disturb him under any situation or circumstance. They ask, okay, so how do you spend your evenings? In the bedroom. Online for a little bit, then out the window. He knows to be home by dawn. He knows nobody will come check on him. Nobody ever does. They had a very long talk. And the more they sat there and the more they listened, the more they engaged with this child, the more the child opened up about his fears, his worries, his concerns, where he went at night, roaming the streets, bad areas, just walking. He had encountered some very scary people, had been in some very, very dangerous situations, had been approached by some very bad people. Not a safe place for a little kid. And the parents, not a clue. Not a clue. They said, okay, now we're going to have to call your mom and daddy back. They're not going to care. They're not going to believe it. They're not going to care. And that had always been their attitude. Oh, you misunderstand. This isn't him. He doesn't act like this. The teacher's overreacting. Well, this time, all of this was on video. So the school resource officer took the child out, got him a soda and something to eat. The parents came in. They saw the video from the classroom, which was disturbing. But maybe he's just having a bad day. Maybe someone provoked him. And then the principal played the video from within his office. And they heard the conversation. They saw the child's demeanor, the tears streaming down the child's face as he's talking to the principal and the resource officer that nobody cares. Nobody talks to him. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody checks on him. Nobody cares what he does, who he talks to, if he's doing homework, if he has, a project due. Nobody cares. And if he tries to talk to them, go away. They have better things to do. They couldn't deny it. It's in front of them. They made excuses. Excuses aren't going to fly. This is neglecting your child, emotional neglect. And they said that they had somebody they wanted the parents to talk to. That would be me. And I talked to the parents. And nice people, really, they're nice people, but they are so self-absorbed. They forget about their kids. The kids feed themselves. Mom may fix something, and if you're hungry, go in and get a plate. They don't sit down as a family. If you're hungry, fine, fix a sandwich. I've got better things to do. I'm on the phone with so-and-so. Dad's in a bad mood. You are not going to approach him. And he's having some issues at work. And I think we can all understand that. We bring our work issues home. Well, honey, if your life at work is that bad, maybe you need to find another job. Well, he'd been thinking about it. He's had some offers. Well, maybe you need to look into that because you need to get your priorities straight. And taking care of your family is, that's right up on the list. That's the priority, taking care of your family. When they heard that their child was wandering the streets at night, it scared the hell out of them. There have been kids abducted in the area. They know that. A matter of time. Their child had been approached for adult situations. And the child had just kind of creeped the kid out. And they said no and ran the other way. Just a matter of time. Mom agreed to change her behavior. Dad's going to start trying to find a better job. They're going to start having family dinners. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. It doesn't matter. Sit down at a family. As a family, I should say. And they like the idea of the flowers and the thorns. Everybody's sharing the good part of their day and the bad part of their day. So you can lift each other up and support each other. Understand where everybody's coming from. It makes a difference. They had never thought about telling their children, more than one child involved in this, they had never thought about telling them they love them. They just assumed they knew. They need to hear it. They need to hear it every morning when you see their little face. I don't care how old that child is. They need to hear, I love you. On their way out the door, I love you. When they come home, give them a hug, I love you. When they go to bed at night, I love you. They never received that. When they were growing up, they never thought about it. And when I asked them, how would that have made you felt if every morning when you saw your mom or dad or whoever, you got a hug and somebody said, I love you. Good morning, I love you. When you went to bed at night, they came in and kissed you on the forehead or opened the door and said, hey, lights out. Have a good sleep. By the way, I love you. Dad got tears in his eyes. He'd never heard those words, not from his family. Well, let's start it now. They have kids in high school. He said, they're not too old to hear this. Start it. Let me know how it goes. Just start it today, and I want to know everybody's reaction. I'm not saying don't talk to your family, but not when the kids are home. Nope, the kids that's your priority. As soon as a child is brought into this world, your child is your priority, not everybody else's. Their safety, their education, their health, their welfare is your priority. And if you fail, and something happens to them, it's on you. If you don't protect your child, if you don't feed your child, clothe your child, make sure they get an education, that's on you. They hadn't thought of that. They just both kind of pretty much raised themselves. Well, break the cycle starting today. So I got a call early this morning. And yesterday was a fun Sunday. They hadn't had this much fun in a long time. It wasn't that big a deal. They had dinner. That was it. They sat down as a family and had dinner. And they did the flowers and the thorns, and everybody laughed. And when the kids went back to, to their rooms, they took their plates to the sink. Mom would give each one a hug and say, "Hey, I love you. We'll be in to tell you goodnight later." Kids just kind of looked at him, but they smiled. Now, of course, one of the oldest said whatever, but had a grin on their face. They loved it. And the little stinker that brought all this about helped his dad with some fishing equipment. They're going to try and go fishing. It's kind of cool. Put your phones down. Pay attention to your kids. They're a priority in your life. And just because you weren't raised with a loving, nurturing environment doesn't mean you have to continue that behavior. Break the cycle. You're worthy, and so are your kids.